Single answer is the fact that more than 70% of our population lives in the rural area, and they are also farmers. So when you ask about people who are poor, they are farmers. They call them economically active poor. They have farms, they work, but they can hardly pay school fees for their children or support their livelihood. In the area where I found this problem prevalent is in the Niger Delta area. The Niger Delta area is such a place where we have a lot of palm oil. We have a lot of palm fruits that has been planted long ago and some new ones that have been planted. But the problem is so significant because 70% of these farmers would not have access to efficient means to process their palm fruits into palm oil, and therefore they resort to self-help, using the traditional system of processing the palm fruit into palm oil. And the first method you see here, you can see a woman here pounding the palm fruits and then pour them into the oil before her, mix them up with water, and allow the oil to float over the water, and then scrape them into the container beside her. What do you get? You have high level of free fatty acid, bad calories, and high level of moisture content in the oil. And also the better system that they innovate is to have somebody cook the palm oil from behind, press it from top, and get the oil into this container. All of these has led to poor yield. All of this has led to poor quality of palm oil, and all of this has earned the farmer very little price for the palm fruit itself. Here is the solution. The process of making palm oil is such one that must be taken care of right from the palm fruits. Once you do your harvest, the palm fruit must not stay for more than 3 days before you process them. Otherwise, the level of free fatty acid increases. And then we move from palm fruits into the cooking, where we cook them, and after cooking, we put them into a digester, which digests them, and then we press the oil out, and you have this product. When we started, we informed the farmers the opportunity they have to work with us. We gave them 2 opportunities. The first is to bring their palm fruit into our mill. We process the palm fruit for them at little or no cost. But we collect the palm kernels. So they don't pay for the processing fee. We collect the palm kernels, which are byproducts from the processing. This has led to a double yield for them, where they get 5% oil content, they now get between 9, 10, and 11%. It has also led to additional increase in price by 54%, because we are able to buy back whatever the farmer processed in our oil mill from them. The plantation itself is located about 800 kilometers away from Lagos, which is the commercial capital of Nigeria. So we move the palm oil into this market to be able to sell. This is the current market landscape of palm oil in Nigeria. Consumption is about 1.5 million, as shown by the red bar. But our total supply from local production and import, it's about 900,000. So we have a gap, a massive gap of 600,000 metric tons of palm oil. Why is palm oil so important in the country? It is a cooking ingredient that all the major tribes in Nigeria value so much in all their delicacies. So averagely, every day, out of the 187 million people, you have more than 90 people eating one thing or the other that contains palm oil. The opportunity is wide, considering the gap that we have in the market. However, we have other processors who are large commercial scale processors. We have the like of Okomu Oil and Presco Oil. These are 2 big companies that has been processing palm oil for quite some time. But yet they are not able to fill in the gap because our population grew at about 2.8%, and consumption and industrial use of palm oil continue to expand. So these two major guys concentrate in the industrial consumers. Having seen the gap, I am left to compete with the local processors, and we have a gap of 150,000 metric tons to compete for our target market. The customers here are divided into two. We have the informal market and the formal market. The informal market are made up of market aggregators, cooperatives, street vendors, restaurants, family and friends. Because the customers in the informal market are the nearest customer, are the customers who don't ask questions about certification. They are customers who are indigenous about testing quality of the product. So they know it by the taste, they know it by the color, they also trust it by the source, which is the point where you are doing your production for. The marketplace, like I mentioned, is in Lagos. Lagos alone houses 21 million people, over 300 major markets, 2,000 registered cooperatives, 5,000 street vendors, and personally, I have a record of 250 family and friends that are my customers. What are their buying decisions? Why do they buy our palm oil? The informal markets are concerned about the quality, because once a customer comes and complains, repeat sales becomes a problem. Completeness, because they are bulk breakers. So when they buy in 30 liter, they have to go and break down into 1 liter, 2 liters. And then you must be able to measure completely for them. The low moisture is essential to housewives because they heat the palm oil before they cook. And in the process of heating, if there is so much of moisture in the oil, there will be a lot of smoke and there will be a lot of noise coming from the cooking pot. So they don't want this. And then it makes it difficult to store the palm oil. Color, taste, price, and delivery are our key variables here. Here is our product. Fit palm oil is the name of the product that entered the market to be able to separate between what is quality and what is not for palm oil. It is fit because it is healthy. It is fit because we are conscious of the free fatty acid that must be contained here. Fit palm oil enters into the market around November last year, and we're able to have our footprint within the food industry in the informal market. The second product you see here is the palm kernels, which we always sell to industries. The palm kernels that I mentioned earlier that we collect as compensation for processing for local farms, for smallholders. This is our growth strategy. We entered the market October 2015, and we have 3 phases of expansion. We have the first phase is stability, the second phase is the new channels, and the third phase is expanding on our delivery. Our channels of distribution. The company gives the product to market aggregators, then directly also to cooperative street vendors and retailers, and then we get the product to our customers. Competitive comparison is very essential for us to look at existing operators in the market. And we found out that Okomo and Presco, who are the major guys in the market, are concentrating on the industry. So we pitched into our niche market, which is the domestic market, and we are left with the local processors. Here is our financials. We have 2 streams of revenue. Revenue coming from our own plantation and revenue coming from farmers that will buy back their processed palm oil. And at the end of the day, the first year, we're looking at about 35% operating margin. Second year will grow to 55%, and third year will be on 61%. Return on investment in the first year is 125%, and by third year will be 548%. This is the management team. I'm supported by Abayomi Johnson, who is a farm manager of 7 years experience and has lived within this community for more than 20 years. I have advisors from Federal Institute of Research, Industrial Research, and recently at our visit to Dauda Agrosciences, I met a gentleman who has been leading the research department of Dauda Agrosciences in oil and oil processing using the cold press. That was a big opportunity, and he was willing to serve as a mentor. The investment we are asking for is a sum of $125,000, and this is what we intend to use the money for. We need to pay for our annual land lease. And secondly, we need to tractorize our road and mechanize the farm operation. And in the second phase, we need to renovate the factory and prepare for certification so that we can sit on the shelves of the big supermarket and we can enter into the formal market. The third phase is to expand our delivery model by adding one additional delivery van and 2 tricycles to be able to move the products into the internet. What do investors get? Investors who are able to put their money in our investment are currently looking at a growth in revenue from $200,000 in the first year to $1.3 million by the third year. Our investment payback ratio will be 1 year, 10 months. And as you can see, the balance sheet is held. No debt, no long-term capital from any source other than from the founder, and the room is open to investors. Thank you very much for listening.